Okay. Alright, look. I understand what it's like to be hangry. I get it. When I'm that hangry, I could eat anything. Almost. That is largely an exaggeration. But for these people, I don't know. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bumblebee, the channel filled with bewilderment. From vegetables to pool noodles, today's list covers the top 10 strangest things found inside human bodies. I hope you're not sorry for joining us. This list is a lot. But thank you for joining us, and if you're new here, press that little subscribe button, because we love you already. Number 10, dentures. This one I can kind of wrap my head around because, you know, dentures are already in your mouth. It could happen. And it's not always a full set of teeth, though my mother believed as a little kid that every adult could take their teeth out. She saw her relative do it and she just put two and two together. Adorable. But this isn't. An anonymous individual reported to BuzzFeed that they had a patient who kept spitting up a white substance and his stomach really hurt. Needless to say, they checked him out immediately, and it turns out his dentures were just chilling in his throat, just hanging out there, somehow not choking him to death. But, like, how do you not realize what happened sooner? When you smile, aren't there some teeth missing that you know you should have there? Here's a warning. There's gonna be a lot on this list we are both going to be confused by, so just nod or shake your head or scream and run away. Number 9, a noodle. I'm not talking about penne or elbow pasta, I'm talking about a pool noodle. I used to call them woggles as a kid, but people made fun of me for it, so I stopped. Kidding! I still call it a woggle. Fight me. It's a woggle. Anyways, I'm now scarred for life because guess where they found one? Hint! A man comes waddling into the ER. Apparently, while he was lounging by the pool, he slipped and 7 inches of a whole pool noodle found a home inside his nether region. Look, I get it. Pool decks are slippery as account for the water. This is just one example as to why you should never run on the deck. The man remains anonymous, but the event has surely scarred the minds of the doctors in the ER, and now our imaginations. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at a woggle the same way. How did it slip up there? Number 8, a tree. I totally believed as a kid that if you ate a watermelon seed, it would grow into a tree inside you. With all the weird stuff I saw on Magic School Bus, my imagination was unhinged, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one, okay? Now I realize that I was afraid of the entirely wrong plant. Peas! Peas are the danger. A 75-year-old man named Ron Svendon from Massachusetts was already struggling with emphysema and was hospitalized after his lung collapsed. They thought a tumor caused it, but it turns out it was an entirely different kind of growth. He had swallowed a pea, which somehow got stuck in his lung, and the damn thing started growing leaves. This also happened to a Russian man in 2009 when they discovered a small fir tree growing in his lungs. So, if this can happen not once, but twice, hello! Were we wrong about the whole watermelon thing? I think not. Get out of here, you haters. If I could see a bus shrink small enough to go into my veins, then I think that I can believe this exists, okay? Okay? Number 7, an engagement ring. I have a rule. I don't like to wear anything that is more expensive than the amount of money I have in my bank account in total. Considering that I'm incredibly accident prone and have managed to lose things that shouldn't be lost in the first place, you know why. But there's a lot of pressure on people to get their future spouse's massive engagement ring. So much pressure that people will do desperate, ridiculous things. A man in the UK was so desperate to get his fiancée a rock to wear on her finger that he swallowed it when the clerk wasn't looking. The clerk noticed, of course. Obviously, you don't see a massive diamond ring disappear for no reason. He called the cops, and with the help of a metal detector, they found out what he'd done. He was placed in a cell until nature could run its course so he could return the ring, which was part of his plan anyway. It just didn't end up in the right hands. I wonder if she would have married him if she knew the ring came out of his butthole. Is that romantic? I don't know. Number 6, a door key. Ever have that like one friend that just doesn't know when to go home? That just doesn't take the hint when people start yawning and talking about going home a little past 1 or 2 a.m. Who insists that the party just started even though it's been going for 6 hours? Yeah, This person is that guy. A college student in Bournemouth was having a little too much fun, and his friends insisted it was time to, pack it in, go home. In defiance, however, he swallowed his house key. Instead of going to the hospital, it turns out this guy just didn't want to leave the party. Fortunately, luck was on his side, and the key passed through his system within 24 hours, and that also evaded the fine that they were going to get from their landlord for having to make another set. Jeez, that, I guess that's good at least. Go home! Number 5, a butternut squash. You may be thinking, well, that's normal, isn't it? Butternut squash is all the rage. Move over, sweet potatoes. But I didn't say it was roasted, did I? Or even chopped up into edible pieces. No. This was a whole butternut squash, found inside the rectum of an anonymous gentleman. Amanda Please submitted this story to BuzzFeed, recounting how her dad used to work as an EMT. This was one of the most shocking stories he encountered, especially with the explanation the patient provided. When asked how the butternut squash got up where the sun don't shine, he said he was gardening, naked, at 12 in the morning. I don't know how that's an explanation. If anything, there's just more questions we don't want answers to. Number 4, cobblestones. There's just something so romantic about walking down cobblestones in Europe or any old place, maybe Japan, China, wherever. I miss traveling. But that's about where it ends, or at least where it should have ended for a woman in Foshan, China. In 2006, it was discovered that she swallowed 20 cobblestones, 20 of them. Apparently her and her then boyfriend got into a bit of a fight, and she decided to reinvent the meaning of emotional eating. For some reason, she thought her stomach would just handle it, but of course it didn't. It just sat there trying to build a new home in her stomach. Eventually, she went to the hospital to undergo surgery to remove them, but she searched the internet first though, just to make sure it was a good idea and that she wasn't right. You weren't right. Before we continue to our top 3, guys, make sure to like this video and press subscribe, especially if you're new here, because you know you're gonna wanna stay. Number 3, a loaded gun. Serious question, does anyone else get nervous when people in movies shove a gun in their pants just casually? They just put it there until they eventually have an epic showdown in a bank somewhere. You know what I mean? I know the safety is probably on, but do you really want something that can go off pointed at your precious area? I never understand it in movies. I'm always just put it in a holster or your jacket pocket. I never understand it, which makes this next find that much more mind-boggling. A woman named Dallas Archer was headed to prison for a bunch of other crimes she committed, but she wanted to go out with a bang. So she hid a real .22 caliber mini revolver into her lady vacation area so she could use it in prison. It's not a purse, girl. That could have been so bad. Thank God they found it. I'm not grateful that they have to check there, but I'm glad they found it regardless. That could have been worse than prison, lady. Number 2, an entire cutlery set of silverware. Silverware is useful. Yeah, that's all we need to say. That's a finished sentence. But I can see how it could be confused for food. Bear with me. Because it's often in close proximity to food, which could explain why Margaret Dahlman from the Netherlands walked into a hospital due to searing stomach pains, and when they took an x-ray, they ended up picking up an image of what could have been either a squid or a mutated pineapple. Both preferable options to what it actually was. An entire 78 piece cutlery set. Apparently, she was suffering from what medical professionals call pica, a disorder where the patient begins to crave non-food items like a 78-piece cutlery set. Number 1, Michael Lotito. We've talked about people containing objects they shouldn't, and I couldn't just name one instance with Michael Lotito. So he, as a person, is just number 1. Michael Lotito, a Frenchman, was infamous for the consumption of things other than food, even leading medical examiners to investigate his digestive system to solve the mystery. The result? His digestive system was just superhuman. He could digest absolutely anything safely being used very lightly. This man has consumed, albeit slowly, a 1.5 ton plane, an entire car, multiple wine glasses, and crushed light bulbs. He's broken some world records and, funny enough, didn't directly die because of anything he ate, but chances are chemicals found in what he ate probably sped the process. He died of natural causes in 2007 at the age of 57, which is pretty young, so I have a feeling some mercury or something weird got in there, but weird, right? And there you have it, folks. The list you will probably be thinking about for a while. At least I will be, because they're There were plenty I didn't share that I wish I could unsee. Hint, they included cement, a fingerling potato, and Velcro. You're welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today on Bumblebee. I've been your humbly bumbly host, Rachel Fisher, and remember to like this video, subscribe, and comment to share your thoughts. If you, maybe you're one of those people who just eats things and I don't know, like good for you, I guess. But if you aren't, until next time, everyone, remember to eat your vegetables, not your car, and otherwise behave yourselves.